All right, hi everybody. My name's Gunnar DeYoung. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself, about Kikori, my development and the internship experience that I had, and some conclusions that I took away. First, a little bit about me. I am from Napa, California. That might not look too far on the map, but it's going to be when I go home on Saturday. Not a good time, but I'm in Paul College studying business. My options are in finance and entrepreneurial studies. My minor is in philosophy. Some highlights from my time at Paul. Even more about me, learning to fly. I'm a student pilot, wine enthusiast. I love the San Francisco Giants. We're having a tough year, but so are the Red Sox. That's okay. And I love Pete's Coffee. A little bit about Kikori now. What is Kikori? A community-based mobile and web application that revolutionizes education by democratizing access to experiential and social and emotional learning for all. What does that mean? Good question. You can think of us like a digital lesson plan book for social emotional learning and experiential learning. And at this point, you're probably asking yourself, what is social emotional learning? I got you covered on that too. This is the definition outlined by CASEL, which is the governing body of social emotional learning, and this is how they describe it. And you can think about it as a learning style to try and understand other people's emotions and to express your own as well. This is our awesome and fantastic team that I had the privilege to work with all summer long. Kendra and Haley are here with me today. Very excited about that. And then a little bit about my development. This is sort of the framework of the internship. I started by drafting learning outcomes. Before I even got there, we determined what it is that I wanted to get out of this internship. We talked a little bit about, doing routine progress reports, and then we actually did them, pulling out things that I was doing well and things that needed improvement. After that, we implemented the feedback from those meetings, and then at the end of this, because I started a week late, we'll have my final performance evaluation. My core responsibilities this summer were in sales, investor relations, marketing, and in special projects. Everything. Yeah, it was a wide scope of duties for sure. But these are the performance metrics. Overall, we increased social media growth by 6.67%. So that was fantastic. That's something I worked on every day for the last 5 weeks. I've contacted, communicated, and managed our relationships with 48 angels and venture capital firms, trying to finish the second seed round that we're raising for around $750,000. I closed a deal that I sourced worth $3,500, which helped us with our traction, and I attended 3 different conferences. Conclusions. My previous employment for summer internships has been with a construction company, sales, and in finance. Those are all very different experiences than I had at Kikori. Mostly male-dominated. As you can imagine, male versus female-dominated workspaces are very drastically different. But it was a great change this summer because I needed that refreshing, emotional sort of really well in tune thought process that you wouldn't necessarily get in those other fields. If you're not an expert at something in a startup, you certainly will be, because I worked with my team to try and help where I was needed. So I learned all these different skills that I otherwise would not have learned, and communication is paramount. I'm super duper happy about this slide. Passion is key as well in an internship. Kendra's passion is Kikori's success. This is the biggest reason that I came to work for Kikori, because I believed in Kendra and her mission and what she was trying to accomplish with Kikori, which is a little bit of a longer story, but we can certainly talk about that afterwards. But I found her to be captivating, contagious, and she certainly inspired my curiosity on this subject. I learned the importance of adaptability, right? And when you work remotely, the importance of communicating the work that you did. When you travel, because I traveled for a couple of these conferences, planning ahead to make sure that you're not late or that you have everything that you need for each of those conferences. And then finally, when Kendra was out of the office, because I was working here and it was just her and I most of the time, being disciplined enough to continue to do the work that I needed to do. Finally, I learned to keep the faith in the product, the business model, in our team, in our personal ability, and as a person of faith in God. I'd like to acknowledge the Patton Family Foundation for funding this program, as well as the team at Kikori and the Entrepreneurship Center and all of its donors. If you'd like to contact me, here's my information. And if you want to download Kikori, you can do that too. Shameless plug. Thanks, everybody, so much.